Hey guys, welcome back to another one. This is Crypto Elite, home to the #1 Theta community. And if you like this content, please like and subscribe to the channel. And you can find me on Theta TV as well. Alright guys, in this video, it is going to be another update video for the comparison between the Theta Metachain or Theta Mainnet 4.0 to other cryptocurrencies. And the one that we are going to compare this time is Avalanche. So we will compare and contrast the differences between the Theta Metachain and the Avalanche subnet. The things we'll look at, as well as from the previous videos, is the scalability, transaction finalization time, security, DApp, user experience, and interoperability. So I'll try and keep this short and concise. If you want to dig into each one of these subjects, it could be its own video. So I'll try and keep this video as concise as possible. So let's dig into it. First, we'll look at scalability for the Avalanche subnet. And it says here that there is unlimited transaction throughput, which is really good to see for all cryptocurrencies. If they want to be, a #1 contender, you definitely need a lot of throughput. And if you're unfamiliar with the Avalanche overall blockchain, it's kind of broken into 3 different chains. There's the X chain, the P chain, and then the C chain. I won't get into all of that all too much, but because there is, a dynamic set of different subchains, they are able to expand horizontally and pretty much have unlimited transactional throughput, which is pretty awesome. So in another article here, we can see that on the default subnet, we've optimized for decentralization while having a good scaling starting point. So the X chain offers about 4,500 TPS or transactions per second. The C chain about 1,000 TPS, and it's a lot higher than the 7 TPS for Bitcoin or 15 TPS for Ethereum. So there is a lot of transactional throughput in the Avalanche community or blockchain, that is, which is really good to see. And then the Theta Metachain, if you've watched my previous videos, you are very familiar with the Theta side, but if this is your first time, it also has unlimited transactional throughput, which is really good to see. So in order to do this, achieve potentially unlimited transactional throughput, the Theta Metachain is a interconnected network of blockchains. So it's a chain of chains. Once again, it is permissionless and it scales horizontally. So that is how it enables this, unlimited throughput. Very good tech. Good to see for, both sides, both Avalanche and Theta. The next, we'll talk about the transaction finalization time or finality. So everything in the blockchain world is so much better than the corporate world, where if you're very familiar with transferring money, it takes 3 to 5 business days for that to hit finality. It might hit the bank account a little bit sooner, but it's not a finalized transfer for another couple days until after that hits the bank account. But the Avalanche subnet, it's showing 1 to 3 seconds probabilistic finalization. Doing a little bit of research, it potentially could be a little bit faster. So the couple things that I found, or a couple articles I found, this one is straight from AVAX support or Avalanche support. So on Avalanche, transaction finality is usually around 1 second. So that is, the very beginning of what this I pulled from the Mainnet 4.0 white paper. So the very beginning of that. And then another way to see it is Avalanche's C chain is a smart contract chain that uses EVM and is 100% compatible. Everything you do on it has the benefit of 1,000 TPS or more, and then sub-second finality and low fees. So this article, which is an Avalanche, so I trust this one a little bit more, but they're saying sub-second potentially for Avalanche. So maybe even a little bit faster than what the white paper says. And then transaction for the Mainnet 4.0, the subchain is 1 to 2 seconds or even sub-second finalization. So very, very similar to Avalanche. And if we go to the white paper, once again, the same paragraph that talks about unlimited transactional throughput, we can also see that there is 1 to 2 second or even sub-second block finalization time, which is great to see. Both Avalanche and Theta, they are doing things correctly with having these super fast speeds. And the next thing we'll talk about is security. This is a big thing, as we know. If you want to be a number one contender, security is a huge factor, a huge thing to look at. And for Avalanche, each subnet has its own security. The subnet validators also validate their primary network. So it's something that they have built on the Avalanche side. I know one thing that a lot of these blockchains going forward are looking for is shared security. That is one more layer on top of just having a subnet have its own interior security, if you will. But if it's shared throughout the entire ecosystem or entire blockchain, it's a little bit stronger. So it has its own security. Still good, but it could be better. So fully customizable, scalable. And actually, let's see. Yes. Well, this one is talking about the subnets. There we go. Are independent and don't share execution thread, storage, or networking with other subnets or primary networks. And that is another way of saying that there is no shared security. And you can think of a subnet like a zone within the Cosmos ecosystem, but with the added benefit of having direct access to the validators to start validating. So it validates its own subnet and also the overall Avalanche system as well. So that is one thing for security and this top highlight, if you will, but fully isolated state, so no shared security once again. So they don't quite have that shared security, which is what we're looking for in the Theta mainnet 4.0. Very, very similar at the beginning, but they are looking to move to that shared security. So each subchain has its own security, very similar to Avalanche. Governance token deployed on the main chain reduces the attack surface. Future extension to ZK or zero knowledge rollups will be highly secured with full shared security. So initially their security, Theta security, is going to look very similar to Avalanche's, but they are going to continue to work to get that shared security. And it's kind of broken down in these paragraphs over here, and it makes it harder to get to that 51% and do that 51% attack. So like they say, with the potential future zero knowledge rollups enhancements, shared security will be achieved. So safety of the main chain can guarantee the security of all subchains, something that they will continue to work on for the future. So the next thing is the DApp, developer and user experience. Both of these are very, very good contenders. As we know, Avalanche has just skyrocketed and become, one of the top cryptos out there. So the thing that the white paper has to say about it is that it's a heterogeneous network and may create extra complexity for developers or users, which is, yes, true. I'm not a developer, so I can't necessarily speak for that, but I also do know that, which they don't really say in the white paper, at the core of Avalanche, it's built around 3 different blockchains. One of those blockchains is very EVM compatible. So I don't know if it's quite as easy as Theta. Theta, as we know, is very extremely EVM compatible, where it's more developer user friendly, unified program interface, EVM support across the board. So I guess that is one difference. With Avalanche, it is EVM compliant with just one chain. But there's other chains, the X chain and the P chain, which are not as EVM compliant. So I guess that is kind of what Theta is getting at, where across the board Theta can be interoperable with Ethereum, and that is kind of the gold standard right now. So there's slight differences there, but I think overall both of them are very, very, they have good DApp developer and user experiences. And the last thing to talk about, which we kind of just hit on, is interoperability. Of course, Avalanche, like I said, and Ethereum have interoperability capabilities, but it's mostly between just the blockchain and subnet or subnets within the Avalanche ecosystem. The good thing about the Theta ecosystem is that all chains are, like Avalanche, connected through some sort of messaging system, but it has a little bit more, bridges to go to other different blockchains and other ecosystems. So they're both very, very interoperable as well. So I'll definitely give that a try. But in summary, guys, I just wanted to keep this video short and talk through the differences between Theta and Avalanche for the 5 different little topics. If you guys have any questions, for sure let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys on the next one.